Hey, Corner to Corner family. Hello, hello. This is my first time going live on my computer. So, what I'm going to do, just in case I don't see the comments, um, I might see the comments. Let's see, they might be on the side here. But if I don't see the comments, I'm going to just check on my phone because I'm used to going live on my phone. But it's Shayna here at Corner to Corner. If you don't know me, I run the Academy. We teach entrepreneurs how to plan, start, and grow their own small businesses. And with our Lunch and Learn series, as you guys have seen this week, we try to give tangible takeaway tips. And the one today is about how to open a bank account. So one of our amazing partners at Wilson Bank and Trust is going to be able to come in and help us. So you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. I'm Elizabeth St. Angelo. I work at Wilson Bank and Trust. I'm the deposit relationship officer here, and my goal is focusing on our business customers and remain their banker throughout their relationship with Wilson Bank and Trust.
Yeah, so a relationship with that banker is a big deal. Now, my friends who are here with me, comment below. Just drop a hello or something in the chat. So I'll know if I can see the comments. Because right now, I don't know if I can. So I'm just going to drop a little chat, hello in the chat, and just see if I can see anything. And y'all drop some stuff in there for me, too. And then, okay, yes, yes, yes. Hey, Denise. Okay,
Hi.
great. Yeah, that's perfect. We can see the comments here. Madonna, Denise. Hi, everybody. So let's just jump into it.
Yeah, for sure. So for those of you who don't know about Wilson Bank and Trust, we are a community bank. We're based out of Lebanon, Tennessee. We have 28 locations, and we're about to open our 29th location in Sumner County. So we're really excited about that. So since our opening in 1987, we have been committed to maintaining a local feel. We are independent, community bank based, and we strive to maintain a hometown atmosphere in all of our neighborhood offices, and to be an active part of the communities that we serve.
Yeah.
So, thank you for inviting me on to Corner to discuss the banking side of your small business. So you found out what you're passionate about, and you have a plan in place to execute it. But then what?
Yeah.
So it's important to keep your business and personal funds separate, and not commingle. So that's where a business account comes in. As you've already probably learned, that there are several types of business types, from LLCs, partnerships, corporations, and sole proprietors. So based on what avenue you take will determine on the documents needed on the banking side to get that account established.
Okay, so let's put a pause right here, guys. So if you're just joining us, hello, welcome. We're at Wilson Bank and Trust, and the branch that we're at is right off of West End. So we're at the West End branch. She reminded us that they have 29 branches, and it's really important for them to feel like neighborhood or hometown branches. So if you have a branch that's close to you, it's a great opportunity for you to get to know your banker, to ask personal questions, and to have a one-on-one relationship with your banker. And so if you have, a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, if you're in the class currently, we discussed legal formation. So LLC, sole proprietor, and no matter what legal formation you've chosen, you definitely need a business account that is separate from your personal account. Even if you're thinking right now, like, well, my business hasn't made any money, so I'm really kind of using it right from your own personal account. Like you're using it from the business the money that you're making as an employee. Well, what you want to do is almost loan yourself some money, right? You want to take some money, write yourself a little note to say, I loaned myself $200. I'm putting this $200 in the business account, and then move that money over to the business account and create some operating money that you can then ebb and flow from. So that number that you put in your business account when you first open it will be determined based on how much you need to get that started up. Again, if you're in our class now, that's week 6. We talk about your bottom line, your break-even point, your startup costs, things like that. And so that's how you determine how much money to put in your business account. But you need one. And so we're going to talk about how to open one today. Guys, drop in the chat any questions that you may have. And we're going to get started.
Yeah, so for sure.
Yeah.
So Wilson Bank and Trust has provided a helpful guide that breaks down the different types of business accounts and the documents that are needed. So I'm going to give this to Shayna, who will provide a copy of the Facebook page after we finish.
Yes,
so,
I'm going to take a photo of this, guys, and I will upload it in our stories and on our page. And so most of our accounts are most of our students. Oh, well, let's talk about this a little bit. So it has the opening requirements, guys. We're going to read them, but it has the opening requirements, the type of businesses you have and what you need for it. And then on the back, it even has some information like a maintenance fee and a transaction fee, transaction limits, things like that. So this is a great form that I will take a picture of.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the most popular accounts that I open here at this location specifically are LLCs. With LLCs, it's important that, well, with any business, you're going to get an EIN. And then whether it's multi-member or a single member LLC, it kind of depends on our next step then. So if it's a sole member LLC, articles of organization are sufficient for us. However, if there are multiple members, we have to collect beneficial ownership. So that's where we figure out how many people own that business, and the operating agreement tells us that in a lot of detail. It has whether there's a managing member who conducts all the bank business, or there's a section in the banking area where it says all the members are going to come together and be on this bank account or discuss the bank account. So that's where the operating agreement comes into play. Important. Really important. And then registering with the Secretary of State. It's your certificate of existence. So being sure you're registered there is one of the also requirements that are needed to get that account established. You would know if your business is applicable for a business license. Some businesses are exempt, so that just kind of depends there on whether you'll need a business license. But if your business falls into that category of needing a business license, we would also need to bring that with you. The great part about our accounts here at Wilson Bank is that you can bring me all your documents and I can get this account rolling and send you documents remotely so you can sign electronically. So you don't have to hang out in one of our banking centers, even though they are nice and very welcoming.
They are nice.
But you can get it. But you're a business owner and you're trying to get on with your day. So we can send you documents remotely. I can collect electronic signature and that account can get started. We also have a cash management team, and that's a special group of individuals that Wilson Bank has put together that focus directly on our business clients. They help with additional services that help with your cash flow. For example, remote deposit or business mobile deposit, or even merchant services to where you can accept business credit cards, or I'm sorry, for debit card and credit cards for purchase or things of that nature. So, and that's a team that I work closely with, that they work directly with you guys to help manage your cash flow.
So let's talk about this really quickly.
Sure.
So we and I want to just make sure, guys, drop your questions in the chat if you have any questions. We are not right now walking you through step by step what you need to open a business account. So you have a business, you started this business last week, and you're now the first thing you want to think is if I'm doing a sole proprietor or if I'm an LLC. Either way, you need to have, and they have a great piece of paper that I'm going to take a picture of and upload when we leave here. But either way, guys, you need to know your business name. Write it down on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to, your LLC filings don't have to be done. At this point, just think about it. Write down your business name. So I have a business called The Fashion Trace. I will write that down. Then you'll want to write down your physical address and contact number. So that's your house address right now if you don't have a brick and mortar, and your phone number. But also if you have a P.O. box, write that down too, because they may need that kind of information for other kind of filing. So just have all the information, your physical address as well as your P.O. box, just so they'll have that. And then your tax ID number or your EIN number. If you don't have an EIN number or a tax number, let me know if you want me to do a Facebook Live on how to get that. It doesn't take a lot, and I think now that they're free, if I'm not mistaken. So they don't cost a lot. You can literally Google how to get an EIN number Tennessee. It takes you step by step, and I'll drop that link as well because you'll need it. So right now you have your business name, obviously the name your mother gave you, call your government name, your physical address and contact information, your EIN number, and then your government issue photo ID for all the signers. Now when they say that, if you have a partnership, if you and your friend or you and your mom, you and your spouse are in business together, then we would need information from all of you. If it's just you, if you have your own business, then you just need to bring can you bring your driver's license or
Just
your
driver's
passport,
license.
something like that.
Government issued ID.
Yeah, government issued ID, whatever that looks like. You bring that in. So that's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last one, the fifth one, is going to be a beneficial ownership information. So that's your SSN, Social Security number, your passport of non-citizens, which has all that information on it. So you would need, it looks like maybe 2 forms of ID, Social Security number and your photo ID.
Yes.
Okay, so if you are a U.S. citizen, just bring a Social Security card and your driver's license. Mm-hmm. If you are not a U.S. citizen, then bring your passport and a government-issued ID, plus the other things. And then that's kind of the first bucket, if I'm reading this right, that everybody needs, no matter what your business type is. Thank you. See, that's why she's the expert. After you have those things, then you want to say, what is my business type? If you filed for your LLC already, they need a copy of the operating agreement, which you'll have because you'll need that to file for your LLC, and then your Secretary of State filing. And then they says, just those 2. If you have minutes from meetings, then they have that on there. But your articles of operation, and then your Secretary of State filing. Mm-hmm. Guys, I know a lot of people in our class are just now in that beginning phase, maybe a week or 2 out from filing their LLC. So they may not have that finished yet. And then some may not have even made the decision, and they are sole proprietors. So if they are, then what should their next steps be?
So if they're a sole proprietor, we can open the account with either your social or an EIN. It just depends on what people choose to do. There's no right or wrong for it. And then we usually use a business license to accompany that, or a copy of a past tax return. But obviously, if this is a new business, we're just going to take the social and a business license.
Yes.
Or some type of license for that to open the account. So sole proprietorships are very easy, very simple to open.
They open similarly to like a personal account. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, so checks can be made payable to your DBA or to you as an individual into that account. And all of our accounts come with debit cards.
Oh.
They're instant issue, so you'll get your permanent debit card the day you open your account.
Okay, guys. So this really is easy. How long, if somebody walks in and wanted to open a business account, if they had all the paperwork, because I'm sure that's a big thing they have to gather, how long do you think it'll take time-wise?
Well, we want to establish a relationship and get to know you as a customer.
Right.
So I would say give yourself at least 45 minutes. Could it be sooner and quicker than that? Absolutely. But we want to get to know how money comes in and out of your account and what additional things would benefit you.
Right.
And that's where that conversation is really important to have.
Oh, I was thinking longer than 45 minutes. So, guys, I mean, it can be same day, basically. Is what
Absolutely.
You're saying. Same day.
Mm-hmm. And even if we're in the process of collecting the rest of your documents, it's still important to get to know a banker, and they can follow up with you. And once you get your certificate of existence, go ahead and forward that, and we can finish the process. But we can definitely get it started.
So should they move, let's say they start as a sole proprietor because they started their business last week and they haven't done the LLC paperwork, but they end up doing that. Should they move over the type of bank the type of account, I guess, that they have?
So if they're switched from a sole proprietor to an LLC, typically your sole proprietor is going to have a social security number. Your LLC is going to have an EIN. So it's going to be a completely separate entity. The business name is going to change. And so that's where a different type of business would be established in that sense, but we can still keep the same account number. It's not a typical thing that happens. Most people are ready to roll and that's it.
Yeah.
But if they are in the process of changing, we can make that change.
Yeah. So if you're one of our students, then you know that we recommend, I don't know if recommend is the right word, but we spend a lot of time talking about why LLCs and sole proprietorships are different and how legally it could be it can be very helpful to have an LLC over a sole proprietor. So we do have a lot of students who migrate to LLCs at some point in their journey. And so that's good to know that if you start with the business bank account, which we say do that today, right? But the 100%. LLC journey is a little bit longer, that you then can come in and need to just kind of switch it over. But does one of the account types offer more coverage or more amenities than another type, you think?
So All of our, we've got several different business account types. We have our basic business checking that's kind of geared toward our small business because we've made our minimum average balance only $1,000. So if you can maintain that average, then that's terrific. If not, it's a $10 service charge that we would apply to the account itself.
Okay.
We also ask that you go paperless on your bank statements because we want to keep our information secure and not have to send that paper statement out.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we also ask here at Wilson Bank and Trust. But then that's where that cash management team rolls into play. So each business has different needs. So based on those customers' needs, that's where those additional business services come into play. And so we work alongside you to find out exactly what your needs are specifically. So if you like to travel and you've got large checks that are over the standard mobile deposit limit, we offer business mobile, and we ask what are your typical standard size checks, and we make it so it's available to you in that product type.
Oh, okay. So before, I do want to talk more about this, guys. And again, if you have any questions about a business account, and if you want to reach out to Elizabeth, this is a good moment. And if you're watching, if you can drop this in the chat for me, that'd be great. If they want to reach out to you and open a business account, what should the next steps be?
Come in and visit us. We're at 2930 West End Avenue. Our line here is 615-600-0700, but I'll have Shayna share that here on the Facebook page. But we are right on West End Avenue, across the street from Starbucks, and right next door to Bricktops. So.
Yes. This will be, hey, I just talked to you this morning, but this will be on the replay, guys, and we have lots of people who watch the replay, and you always can refer back to this anytime you have questions about opening a bank account, a business account, or share it with a friend. As a matter of fact, let's take a moment right now, guys. Share it with a friend, share it in your groups, share it on your pages. Anybody who you know may be interested in opening a business account, has a business, and they're still putting their business money in their personal bank account. Don't do that. Don't do it. It's not worth it, friends, I promise. And if you're in our class, you know why we say that it's not worth it, and we encourage you not to commingle those funds, meaning to keep them separately and not to have them overlapping to where you don't know if this dollar came from your business or if it came from your employer. You want to keep them separate. And so that's why it's so important today. So if you are just joining, we're at Wilson Bank and Trust, guys, and we are talking about opening a business account. And I will share this really handy one-pager with you on our page when we log off, as well as their contact information, and I'll try to find the link quickly to how to do an EIN, so you can do that. It's free and it's necessary to open a business account. But I did have a couple of questions. So
Sure.
Everybody knows you have a personal bank account. You know how this goes. So when you open a business account, the day they walk in to open it, they need to have at least $1,000 to put in the account. Is that right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
We ask for a $100 opening deposit.
Okay.
It's a $1,000 minimum average for the month.
Okay, so coming in and out, it needs to be, so they don't have to have $1,000 actually in the account, but they would need to have $1,000 at some point coming in and out.
I would say as long as their average balance maintained above $1,000.
Okay, the average balance.
But then it's just a $10 monthly service charge for that account if it's not maintained. So it's not such a steep price.
And if you're at another bank and you're wondering, which bank is best for me? And that's a really great point, is that Wilson's monthly maintenance fee is $10. Now, that means that, and correct me if I'm wrong, if your minimum average collected balance is not $1,000 and they charge you a $10 fee, is that right?
Correct.
So I want you guys to look back at the month before. As we're doing this, obviously, I want to make sure you guys don't have any additional fees because it's already expensive and challenging. So look back at the month before and see, did you make $1,000? Do you have $1,000 that you can then sit and then add as money comes in and out? Because we don't want to acquire that fee if we don't have to.
Right.
So before you just say, okay, let me take $100 in here and I'm just going to let this $100 sit. Well, no, you have to make sure that $1,000 minimum fee, and getting to $1,000, guys, we talk about how to get there quickly, how to start small. And if you need help understanding how you can get to that $1,000 for your business easily, send me an email, Shayna@cornertocorner.org, and we'll talk about how, what your business structure is, how you create your bottom line, things like that. If you're in the class, that's week 6. If you graduated from the class, go review your week 6, and it should help you answer those, but I would love to do that. And so when you say, it says transaction limit 100, what does that mean?
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So transaction limits are how many transactions go in and out of your account a month.
Mm-hmm.
Most small businesses don't exceed 100 checks a month or 100 items that are deposited.
Okay.
So they would easily fall into this category.
Okay.
When you start to get larger and you are accepting several checks a month and you have tons of items going out, then we can talk about our business interest checking, and that's like $1,000 minimum or a $3,000 minimum average balance, and then we have a $15 service charge. So it just kind of depends. But like I said, most small businesses are going to fall under our standard business checking account with that $100 transaction limit.
So a transaction, let's say they work at like the farmer's market,
okay,
and when someone pays them on their Square and they swipe that person's card, is that considered a transaction towards their?
Well, I believe with Square, it all posts at night and it posts in one settlement.
Oh, okay.
So it would be one.
That would be one. That's good to know, guys. And to look at, if you use Square, if you use PayPal, if you use whatever you use, that's a good tip. Instead of every single time you make a transaction, you just go ahead and deposit it in your account. You can do it per day. You can do all the Squares and all the Cash Apps and all the ways that you accept money, and then that night just to cash it out into your bank account. So it would be one large transaction instead of a lot of little transactions.
And we also partner with Bank Card of America, which is our merchant service company that does similar transactions with Square and attaches to your phone and things like that. That might be more competitive or a lesser price or maybe just a hometown customer service. Because I know with Square, some of the correspondence I've heard is might be difficult. So that's kind of one of the benefits when you bank locally is that you get a person to discuss any kind of issues you have.
Yeah, so tell us the name of that again.
Bank Card of America, but you can go to any Wilson Bank and Trust, and we can refer you to one of our great partners.
So when you go to Wilson Bank and Trust and you open your business account, because I know you guys are driving there now, wherever you live, all over the state of Tennessee, then you can ask them, after you open that account, then you can inquire about that services. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right.
We also partner with Paychex, and that's to help with your payroll and timekeeping and things like that. So if you're opening a storefront or things of that nature, or if you have even one employee to 5 employees or more, our Paychex representatives will come to you and talk to you about payroll and things like that, W-9 employees and things of that nature. So they can help you with that too. And so we partner with Paychex and Bank Card of America here at Wilson Bank.
Yeah, so when you go Wilson Bank, open your bank account, maybe sit down and ask them if you can have make an appointment to be able to talk about all the financial decisions that you're making. Like how people are paying you, like how you're paying your employees, and they may be able to offer great advice.
Yeah, that's a great conversation to have, because it's one thing to just bring in your documents and we open you an account and then you go on your way.
Right.
But it's another thing to how to utilize that properly and really make the most of your experience.
Yeah. So if you don't have a banker, if you have a bank, but if you don't have a banker, then you really should sit down and say, am I utilizing my bank properly? Is this the best bank for me? And then you have a connection to Wilson Bank and Trust anywhere, not just at this location, although this is a great one, but I know I have people who live out in Lebanon. You have a location out there.
We've got several in Lebanon.
Yeah, we have people who live out in Murfreesboro. Do you have any down there?
We have several in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, so I have so many people who live in Murfreesboro, Antioch, Laverne, and then Lebanon, like our biggest one outside of Nashville. So you have locations in all those places, and you can go find a banker and not just a bank. So anything else do you think, this is not interest bearing? This is a great thing to know that the standard one, guys, the $1,000 minimum is not interest bearing, and you have free mobile deposits for the standard limit and then free online bill pay for the standard limit. So they're going to give you this information, but if you don't know what these things mean, if you I don't know what mobile deposits are, then you need to ask. That's why we have these lunch and learns. That's why we talk about insurance and opening a bank account and EIN numbers, because it gives you the right questions to ask, and your banker will be happy to answer those questions.
Yeah, for sure. We're the experts on this. We do this every day, so we're happy to go over any questions that you may have.
Yeah, all right. And they have, they have a code of privacy or whatever, so don't feel weird about sharing your information or telling them how much you make. Even if you feel a little nervous about it, they have seen the gamut from new businesses that opened yesterday to multi-million dollar businesses that bank with them and everything in between. So they know what they're doing, right?
Right.
So again, guys, I'm gonna take a picture. Those who are just joining, welcome. I'm gonna take a picture of this little handy flyer. I actually will take one to the office as well if you come get your headshots tomorrow or Monday, and you want to just grab one or just kind of look at it. I'll take it to the office. Well, actually, no, I won't take it to the office this week, but next week. So maybe not your headshot night, but if you just want to see it and you ever stop by our office, let me know. I'll let you have one. Anything else you think we should know before we adjourn?
I think we've pretty much covered it.
Yes. So, guys, don't forget that if you don't have an EIN number, that is your next steps. We are big on takeaways. Your next step is to have an EIN number, to create a business name if you haven't already done so, to file that with the Secretary of State just to make sure nobody else has it, and you should have a government ID and then your Social Security card or your passport. And that's all. Like, it's stuff you can gather in an hour. She said it'd take maybe an hour or so, make an appointment, maybe call and see a best time to visit. You can open a bank account today, like today, period, and go on your way and know that you are safe and that your money's in a separate place. Keeping in mind, though, guys, you do need to have that minimum average collected of $1,000. So you only need 100 to open the account, but throughout that month, you need to make sure that you have a minimum average collected balance of 1,000. Any questions on that? Either comment or ask your banker what that means. And so if you don't think that you'll get 1,000 throughout that month and you don't want that $10 fee, maybe wait to the next month, because each month we're making money, and as that money grows, you'll be able to keep that balance well. So no fees, guys. No fees, no late fees, no overdraft fees. That means we don't want any of that. So we want to make sure that you understand the requirements and that you are savvy in making sure that we have no fees so we can continue to add our money up. So guys, if you can and just comment right now. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, we are so grateful for your time.
Absolutely.
She's at work. She doesn't have to do this. So thank you so much. If you come to the West End office, ask for her.
Yes,
and
please.
she'll be great to help us along. Thank you so much to Wilson Bank and Trust. Thank you to all the people who've been working with us, from Dame to Mindy's to everybody. I've been on so many email chains, so it's a lot of people we want to thank who have been so kind and partnering with Corner to Corner, Wilson Bank and Trust. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Tell them Corner to Corner sent you if you feel so inclined. And guys, we will talk to you soon. If you didn't watch our first Lunch and Learn on Tuesday, go ahead and watch that replay. We have a couple happening next week. And share this with a friend. Share this with a friend so we can all start our businesses on the right foot. I hope you guys are having a great Thursday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Uh-oh. Yep, I didn't talk to you soon. Now I will. Bye, guys.